David spent 18 years as a lead HVAC technician at a regional contractor in Phoenix, carrier certified, EPA 608 universal, could diagnose a failing compressor by the sound it made from the driveway. Last July, he walked away, not for another HVAC company, for a data center maintenance job, climate-controlled building, set hours, company tools, no more 2 a.m. emergency calls in a 115-degree attic. 6 months later, $15,000 more than his best year in HVAC. Weekends off. 2 things I'm going to show you today. First, why the place mechanics escaped to is now hemorrhaging its own people for the exact same reasons. And second, at the 5-minute mark, why this crisis is about to hit your wallet harder than the mechanic shortage ever could. Because you can choose not to drive your car, you cannot choose not to cool your house. The HVAC industry is short 110,000 technicians right now, and 25,000 more leave every year. But those numbers don't tell the story the way David's comment does. So let me put it in terms you'll feel. A $12 million HVAC contractor in southern New Jersey had 5 trucks sitting in his lot, fully equipped, ready to roll. He had enough work lined up for $15 million in revenue, but 5 trucks had no drivers. 5 trucks making $0 every day for months. That's not a statistic. That's a business bleeding out. The shortage is projected to hit 225,000 to 300,000 within 5 years. For every available HVAC technician in America, there will be nearly 2 open positions waiting. And here's the part that connects directly to the mechanic series. We showed you that mechanics were fleeing auto repair for HVAC. Better pay, company tools, fairer deal. But now the HVAC techs are leaving too. The mechanic went to HVAC. The HVAC tech is going to data centers. It's a migration chain. And every link leads away from the person who needs their house fixed. But it's not just about the numbers. In 60 seconds, I'm going to show you exactly which industry is stealing these techs, and why not a single one of them is coming back. Data centers, that's the big one nobody saw coming. Tech companies are building server farms across the country, and every one of them needs climate control expertise. The skills transfer directly. An HVAC tech who manages a chiller plant can manage a data center cooling system, but the conditions don't transfer at all. Data centers are climate controlled, the hours are predictable, the tools are company owned, and the pay is $15,000 to $25,000 more than residential HVAC. Government facilities, school districts, hospitals, same HVAC skills, but with pensions, set hours, and 0 sales pressure. Building automation roles at $80,000 to $110,000. Programming climate systems in office towers instead of hauling condensers onto rooftops. One commenter described switching to a school district as the first time in 15 years I didn't dread Monday. Think about what that sentence means. 15 years of dreading Monday. That isn't burnout from hard work. That's burnout from a system that takes everything from the technician and gives nothing back. They aren't leaving because they can't do the work. They're leaving because the deal got worse every year until someone offered them a better one. But the reason they left, the actual specific rot inside the HVAC industry, is worse than what killed auto repair. And if you're a homeowner, this next part explains why your last repair bill felt like highway robbery. The HVAC industry adopted the exact same business model that destroyed the auto repair industry. We documented it in the Mechanic series. Private equity firms buying up family-owned shops, replacing diagnostic skill with sales quotas, turning technicians into salespeople. One of you put it perfectly. We're 50% salesmen now. The company expects me to sell double my salary in add-ons, UV lights, air scrubbers, premium filters, before I've even touched the unit. That is the flat-rate, sales-first model that starved mechanics out of the auto industry. It followed them to HVAC, and the result is identical. The best technicians, the ones who actually know how to fix things, are the first ones out the door. Because a real technician doesn't want to sell you a $15,000 system when a $400 capacitor would solve the problem. The industry keeps calling it a hiring problem. It is not a hiring problem. A company in Boston spent more on recruiting than training, and couldn't understand why new hires lasted 2 to 3 months. The answer was the service manager who criticized everything and never said, "Good job." That's not a labor shortage. That's a leadership collapse. And then there's the physical toll. 115-degree attics in summer, crawl spaces in winter, 32-foot ladder carries, 80-pound condenser units hauled onto rooftops, the 2 a.m. emergency calls that don't care about your holiday weekend. One veteran tech warned, "The pay is better than auto, but at 45 my knees are done, my back is shot, and I've had heat exhaustion 3 times. The money is good until your body isn't." The industry is short 110,000 people. The people it has are burning out. The corporate owners are running the same extraction playbook that emptied the service bays. And the refrigerant transition is about to make all of it worse. Starting in 2025, new residential HVAC systems are required to use A2L refrigerants, R54B or R32. These are mildly flammable. That means new safety certifications, new tools, new handling procedures. The techs who spent 20 years mastering R410A systems now need retraining, or they age out. And R410A prices have spiked over 300% as production was banned while existing inventory gets depleted. So your old system costs more to repair because the refrigerant is scarce. Your new system costs more to install because the technology changed. And both require a technician who may not exist in your area because 25,000 of them left this year and the training pipeline can't replace them. This is the perfect storm. A workforce that's shrinking, a technology that's changing, and an industry that refuses to pay or train the people who make it all work. Now here's what this costs you. This is the part I told you about at the top. HVAC service calls have jumped from $75 to $100 in 2015 to $150 to $250 right now. Wait times during peak season have stretched from 1 to 3 days to 2 to 6 weeks. Equipment prices have nearly doubled. The average full system replacement has gone from $6,000 to $12,000 since 2020. Think about what that means if your unit dies this week. Your AC goes down on a Friday in July. In 2015, you had a tech on Saturday. Right now, pull up your calendar. You are not getting a tech until the following Thursday, at best. You're sweating through 95-degree nights with your windows open while the thermostat climbs. And when the tech finally arrives, the bill is double what it was 6 years ago. Call your local HVAC companies right now. Ask for their earliest available appointment. That wait time is the shortage in real time. Every empty HVAC van is a service call that takes longer to answer and costs more when it arrives. Every technician who left for a data center is one fewer person between you and a week without air conditioning. David from Phoenix didn't leave HVAC because the work was too hard. He left because a data center offered him more money to do easier work in a climate-controlled room. And the 60 other Davids in my comments, none of them are going back. The mechanic exodus was the warning. The HVAC exodus is the proof. This same rot is hitting every trade we've investigated. Electricians, plumbers, carpenters. The pattern is identical everywhere. Your 3-week wait for air conditioning isn't a scheduling problem. It's an industry collapse.